Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, I'm GC Smith, and welcome to Day 9 of the Battle for Zendikar Spoiler Season. And we start today with a blue mythic, Part the Water Veil. 4 blue for a sorcery with take an extra turn after this one and exile Part the Water Veil. However, it does also have Awaken 6 for 6 blue. That's right, we have a 6 mana take an extra turn spell that exiles itself that can be cast for 9 mana to give you a 6/6. That's actually an interesting card and something I really want to evaluate, but it's very difficult to do so. Take an extra turn effects are generally only really at 5 mana or playable. Once you go above that, they get less and less so. But this one's ability to play for 9 and give you a 6/6 beta that you can use on the next turn is interesting and could make it a one-of in various standard decks. That's not to say it will definitely see play. In fact, if any extra turn spell was probably going to see play, it might have been the Delve one, but that does seem a little too expensive even with Delve to see play. 6 mana is generally where the Delve one's going to be most of the time, and you don't want to be delving away all your cards and paying 6 mana. This one's a little bit more reasonable, and its ability to become a win con in the late game could be interesting. That said, I still don't expect it to see much play. At the most, if it ever sees play, it's going to be a one-off. Unless, of course, a really heavy Planeswalker deck takes off, then maybe a card like Part the Water Veil could see a lot of play. Planeswalker decks are really where you want to see take an extra turn effect, because it allows you to repeatedly use the Planeswalkers to get far more incremental advantage than your opponent can deal with. Next up we have Snapping Gnarlid, 1 and a green for a common beast 2/2 creature with landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, this creature is pretty good. In Limited alone, it's a bear that gets better every time you play a land, and in Constructed, this is a real beater. The ability to play fetch land and then fetch when it's opportune to fetch is going to be insane with this card. I definitely expect this card alone to see standard play, beyond Limited. This card, I think, is just too good not to see some form of standard play. It's kind of like Step Links. Of course, Step Links was a 1-drop, and, well, gave you +2/+2. But Snapping Gnarlid does have its 1-drop brother to see play with, as well as a red 2-drop that we're going to see in a few minutes. Definitely at least something you should keep your eye out to see playability. Next up we have Pilgrim's Eye, 3 mana for a 1/1 artifact creature Thopter at uncommon with flying. Whenever Pilgrim's Eye enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Definitely more limited playable than anything, really. I can see this being a really good mana fixer for a dedicated Converge deck. Definitely looks like they want Converge to be one of these archetypes that you have to dedicate yourself to really see play. But wow, it's not a bad card at all. Being able to get a creature and a land to your hand is always good, and it's on a reasonable body, so it can actually, recent ability with flying, so it can actually get through in the air and do stuff. Not necessarily an amazing card, but definitely something you're going to be willing to pick up in Limited. Next up we have McKinnon Slide Runner, 1 and a red for a common creature beast at 2/1 with trample, which alone is a reasonable ability, especially if there's pump spells. But then there's more. It's landfall, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yes, that's right. It's the red Snapping Gnarlid's brother, or it's the red version of Snapping Gnarlid in that sense, except it trades 1 toughness point for trample, which I think is incredible, at least in Limited, and might actually be incredible in Constructed. Being able to play a land and fetch in the same turn turns this into a 4/3 with trample. The fact that then you're hitting with a 4/3 with trample on turn 3 without playing any other spells is pretty good. And as long as you have the fetch lands to keep doing it, this card is going to see reasonable play. Limited, just all-round good common pick in Limited. Maybe not a first pick, but definitely a reasonable pick in Limited. And could be the start of a nice green, or contribution at least, to a green-red zoo-style deck with Snapping Gnarlid and the other 1-drop that gets +1/+1 with landfall. Reasonable card, and it's going to be really good with a lot of fetches in Standard. Next up we have all the new artworks for the various Expedition lands. I'm going to be putting up, I think, a few examples on them, but all the other artworks are absolutely gorgeous and absolutely nice to see. Now, our final card today is Sire of Stagnation. 4 blue-black for a Mythic Rare Eldrazi with 5/7. It has the Void, as you would expect from an Eldrazi in this set, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player exiles the top 2 cards of his or her library. Oh, and then you draw 2 cards. Not really that playable and constructed. 6 mana, by the time you have 6 mana, your opponent's likely to at least not have to play lands. But it's an absolute bombing commander. You can cheat this out early in Commander. I can fully expect it to be ramped out too as well. And Commander is the format where people want to hit a lot of land drops to play really big or multiple spells in one turn. And this card will punish all of them for doing so. Absolutely can't wait to see this see play in any Commander deck nearby. And that's all the spoilers for today, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, there haven't been that many today, but there is going to be like 100 or so cards tomorrow. Most of them commons and uncommons, but I think there'll be the last 2 rares as well. Unfortunately, we have all 15 Mythic Rares out, so none of those coming tomorrow. And then after spoilers tomorrow, I might try and do a set overview at the weekend. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share it around, and look forward to seeing you next time.